Welcome back. We are trying to decide what happened to the 5 monks who were 5 units of kinetic energy in the ball. So what happened to them at the end of the play?
당저 탑된 지역 거기서 당보 고속도 구쇼가요 레스. 다 볼로랑기 슈디 춘게 라디. 아니 고속도 구쇼가요 레스. 아니 탑된 디 차차에 젤 아니 구쇼가들 가르 준거요 레스. 나 같이 그래 랑자 디레스. Okay, at the end also there will be 5 monks.
At the end there are going to be 5 monks, you said, yes?
Yes.
And in what form of energy would those 5 monks be?
다 구쇼가 랑자 요 레송로 타마델라. 디 요바이나 구쇼가 디 누베모 가릴라 요 레스. 제기 누바. 이슈. 가리 누바. Tembo nebe. Okay, it's so that energy possessed by the ball is in a state where the ball is in a stable condition.
So the idea is that the energy in the ball at the end, it is much harder for me to hold the bowling ball.
Tadi polo di juetis kados.
So it starts in this configuration and it ends in this configuration again.
Tambo gozudu dendeji gozugu res tamadilage tharang chadu res.
So you're saying that there is energy associated with the structure of the ball.
The keranso kari shigur laena polo di koba the day when nuba juerlan shigur was.
Do I understand you correctly?
Kyanzu shijo tharang relas ni ma shijo di. Kyanzu samju tharang roasli. Yes.
So is the structure of the ball at the end of the scenario different than at the beginning of the scenario?
The tambo gozugdu ni chini da polo koba jura dida and tama ta zamshadu koba jura polo di. Dini mandawa yor wes. No, there's no difference.
So if there was energy associated with the structure, that energy would be 10 monks worth of energy.
Ta di koba di dan dewe ta nubaj yo ainas nubadil ta khagas yor la aina kusho chu yo dinde doju res.
And at the end of the scenario, that form of energy would also be 10 monks.
Thanashi thama delagi mali ra polodi tile dugal nubadi ta aina nubadi khajo yor la aina kusho chu gi nubadi yor res.
But at the beginning of the scenario, then the total energy in the ball would be the 10 monks of that form plus the 5 monks that are kinetic energy.
Ta thambo gozugdu gala polo digi nubaj yor lara din nubadi khajo yor lana kusho chu gi nuba yor lara di da dombe yangyo khajo yor la aina thambo gozugdu kusho nga yos dige domgyo res nimdo.
And at the end, you're telling me that the 10 monks are still in the ball and they are associated with that form of energy.
Tatanda kushochu di yores, tande polo na yores, and di khari da dewa chadiolana polo niba da dewa chadiores.
But what happened to the 5 kinetic energy monks?
Hine da di gangla nembe kushonga yorlara, di ta tanda gujo niba ra, di kushonga del kharchung yores. La gujo niba di dulgi niba chares. Deva. Okay, it doesn't move. It just sits.
At the end?
Yeah, at the end. So it has changed into that energy.
It has changed to the energy of associated with not moving?
Ta nuba dik ente doj lagi US you go me ta de nuba lagi US de yorlana yes dire you go me ta de nuba jora di lagi yorwas de yorlana yes ale sunne ki nuba okay it has converted into potential energy.
This I was expecting. So let's talk about our friend, the word's potential energy.
Ta kiran so sonni ki nuba lan dishe swas ta digan la chik she is.
What does the word potential mean in Tibetan?
Ta thanda sonni ki nuba la sonne la shda dilana khande chil lagi res.
Not what is the word for potential in Tibetan, but what is the meaning of the word?
Ta digi thunda khar res sonne la na that something it doesn't change and it is stable. It means that something which does not change and which is stable. Tembu yores do yo marestira.
Can you give me an example of potential energy?
Ta thanda sonne nuba la jora digi pesun ji sondas. So when the ball is on the ground and when it's not moving, it has potential energy. So when it starts to move, the ball possesses kinetic energy. And the form of energy has changed.
In English, in the English language, the word potential means different thing in daily language and in physics.
Tangazugi tanda inge na la potential la thangi chuda tanda ngazu sorne lan pheju chejora di ani chidangi nam gyundu pheju cheda cheri na pheju chedi loga chadu res.
So in daily language, potential means unrealized, not yet realized.
Ta tanda gyundu pheju chejora dinal potential la thangi di khande jil pheju chigorla na tanda machorwe lawrada dinde dojila khugu res.
So for instance, Bryce La tells me, Stamadis, you have the potential of being a good teacher one day.
Ta pesun do shaw na price khurangi kharishir law na stamatis khiran gigen yabu chegi ta nuba jur la jura di sheson shigi res.
What he means that I am not a good teacher today.
Di tunda har lagor lana thari nga gigen yabu member chtungu res.
I'm joking, he has not said that.
Has tumuse price ki dinde she mares.
But you go to a child and you say, oh, you have the potential of becoming a great musician one day.
Ta kirang di pugu chinju chil ta kirang royang khewaj dinde chagre lawai nas dinde chayagi nubai dus lani pugu chil lawai nas.
Oh, you go to a building that is just started to be built and you say, this building has the potential of being very tall.
Ta di khangba ji swe de nas di ani khangba digita nuba 100 jur law na khangba ringbu shi thokza mangbu yayo yo dinde nuba shtulan dinde shetu ras.
So the word potential in daily language means concentrates our attention to the absence of something.
Tanganzugi namju ta potential la thangi injina namju de pheju chejora di khande jil pheju chigir law na chik ma changwa dinde shtungu res kwa.
When we say somebody has the potential of becoming a spiritual master, we say that there is a gift there. There are the seeds there, but those seeds have not been realized yet.
Ta kira ngonzo nangjo na shio ina kira gegen yabu shu ji chaya du lawa ina ra cha thue du lawa ina dila du gala korana la ta chaya gi sabin ju yo dinde chi shi yo res thanda di ma chang wada ta chayu mar la ma da di ma chang gi khoda khowa do sti yo res.
That is not consistent with our understanding of energy.
Dila du gala ngonzo niba gal ke chi shi du gala di ta da di yo ma res thangi di.
The forms of energy that we have here are forms that an object has at that moment.
Ta thanda niba di ke shi seri na ke shi du niba hande ji lagir lo ina ngobu di ne dang thar na la niba hande ji yo mi jura di ke shi yo res.
So a moving ball has kinetic energy.
Ta yogu chiwe polo ji yo ina dil niba khari yor lo ina yogu gi niba di yo res.
Because it is moving.
Gujo niba di khachin yor lagi yor lo ina khaila na polo di yogu chi de yo res.
A moving truck has kinetic energy because it is moving.
Thya na shi truck chi yogu chinge truck chi yo ina truck chi dro de yo na di truck dila ngazo gujo niba yo res lan lagi yo res khais na truck di yogu chi yo res di kengi lagi yo res.
A certain amount of gasoline and air contains chemical energy.
An thya na shi lung da ani ngazo thanda gas rig jua thap na dinde rig im baina khonju nang khari yor lawa ina ani niba yo res zig niba yo res lan shi yo res.
A big bowl of hot soup contains thermal energy.
Ta ngazo ma for lungno chimbu jing na le soup yo ina skwa khwa chau shu jo ina ta di khari yor lagir lawa ina ani thue ki niba yo res lan shi yo res.
So then, when we think about energy forms, we think about the energy that objects have at that time.
Ta ngazo nube rik lan shi do di shi du gala nube rik thanda ngobu de la di du lawa ina ne dang chik ke je shi kapso di kapso ani ngobu de la ani niba di dus lan shi yo res.
Each energy form has to be associated with an indicator which tells me how much energy is there, not how much energy I could have in the future.
Dila du gala ta niba ngobu chik ne dang chik rang simni lagi yor lan shira di kapso ta khorang da jewe niba dendish du lan shi res and niba dendish du la du gal di khorang da dyu chinge ya chik yor res pe shaw ina ta da sup chau ji ba ina khorang gi da dyu chinge khari cha dyor la na chaje di tyung yor res chaje di ne gap ring thanda thande ne dang la khari dus chaje mangyung jora di ani chikbu tyung yor res maung ba khaju chagre di tyung yor ma res di maung ba ge shi yor ma res ne dang thande ne dang ge shi yor res.
So we need to think about energy as associated with something that the object has, does not have.
Ta thanda ngobo ga ke je shi yor niba di di shi du gala ngobo dila niba khari du ani ka khoran da dun chinge di khaju du lai di ne dang thande khari yome ji shi khari yo di shi yor ma shi khari me di ke shi yo ma res khari yo di shi yor res ta di chu si jo chi yor res.
So it is important for us to struggle with the question, where did the 5 monks go?
Che zanta di thyo di gal kangi thi dos ta kushonga yor ra go ju di ni kushonga di khaw do res.
Did they stay in the ball? Did they go to the ground? Did they go to the air? And as which form of energy did they go?
Ta thangbo go chu du kushonga yo khron ju khaw do res. Polo na rangja deure yana shalala droire yana lungna droire and dro yumba inage konjugi ngo kharigal droire sti thiwa diligi res. Polo nang rangless it's still in the ball those 5 monks ani ngo So he said like when the ball stops, so the energy is still in that ball, but so he said like if I use potential energy Did you say that it's not right to use that word?
So potential energy cannot be a form of energy based on absence of something.
Tak thangi diga rang la shugen shi do tani ni thangi potential la thangi jura din namju imba ina pheje chidu khari shigor la na chik ma chang wai ke je shigi res ma dang wa ro ma chang wa di shigi yo ma res thanda so ne ni ba la do dinala.
If it is energy, there has to be an indicator that tells me that that indicator indicates the presence of that energy.
Ta niba chik re la sa we jala niba di re la du gol da dun chingi ju gu yo res niba imba gi andi da dun chingi di khari tung yo la na niba di digas tu lan tung ju gu yo res.
So energy cannot be associated with the absence of something, but rather with the presence of something else.
Di la du gola niba la du gola chik ma sang wa ke je shigi yo ma res di ma imbe chik yo adi shigi yo res.
So where could the monks have gone?
Che zanta kusho den zo khawa la do yo res. Khari sir Nyursidi mar kusho nga di khodor la chik di kusho nga jo Tarshugi guju niba di se shigres. So what he's saying is like the frictional force cancels this kinetic energy. Cheza an polo gagres lagore. That's why the ball stops moving. Because the energy is not there at the end.
So yes, part of our story has to be connected with friction.
The race ngajo dung de chik khari da dewa chagor lana chashe ngajo darshu jura ti da dewa chagi race.
But the frictional force is a force. It cannot cancel energy.
Thanda dare dike shude di khari chagor lana darshu shuk jires. Di la do di shuk digi niba di segre lana setu yo mares. Shuk da niba chiba dosh thongu dus lagore. So we feel that force and energy are the same.
So I'm glad that we are discussing this so that we can have the opportunity to differentiate these two ideas.
Tadi samchu denzule ra yabu dos khayasna ta thanda shuk da niba ni chipa thongu dulara di ni para samchu ni di loga imba thade imba tyongu gu yoras ndi ngajo thodur chigos dila.
So let's think about the frictional force, because we know that it is the frictional force that slows down the object according to Newton's laws.
The Newton gi tentim jodan chiwaina ta ngobu di polo ra thanda polo di dro de kap so anjala thero dro di khari kengi chawor la waina darshu gi kengi ani thero dugu res.
So what does friction do to the ball?
Thanda dare jura dige ani polo la khari chigi res. Khari chigre it resists the movement of the ball. Tadira polo di ya dugu na darshu ki nuba lagora darshu ki nuba ki tangi res chungru tangi res ra gyokse di chagi res. So he's saying that energy of the frictional force stops the movement of the ball, because initially it has kinetic energy, so later on this frictional energy from this frictional force stops the movement of the ball.
So the frictional force turns kinetic energy into another form of energy.
Ta thanda darshuk jura digi gujyo gi niba jura di ani niba shimba ji gi ngol gyurgu res.
The question is, what form of energy does the rubbing force turn kinetic energy into?
Ta dargu ra di darshu di kengi thanda gujyo gi niba jura polo dila di niba di ngol gyurgu res lan shira ngol gyurgu yo ena ngol khari la gyurgu res. Lung da sai tenshu la teres nibadi. So when the ball starts moving and it slows down, so during that process the ball gives its energy to air, partially to air and partially to gravitation, to the earth.
So as the ball is rolling and slowing down, the ball gives some of its energy to the air and some of it to the ground.
Ta khiran zo shedan choina polo di dini duras di droy kapsu korange niba khashe ji call tir lawina lung delte chashe ji call tir lawina savitir lagi ras.
So what we would like you to do is we would like you to clear a little spot on your table.
Ta khiran zo chokse latis chi saje ji suru chis chokse gal thanda thep sha shado tis saje ji sharo chis tongba.
And we want you to take your finger.
Can you all see me?
Sangmai si do sa gap din do si de price.
Go like this back and forth.
Ta chokse chala ma pap saim ba di chokse gal zugu di dinde daro chis.
You feel your finger getting warmer?
Dar de do gal zugu saru do des. Yes.
Now touch here with your other finger.
Ta lambe shimba zugu jora di ani chokse ga sharu chis turu chis.
Touch the place where you were rubbing,
Tanda ngui ni dargyo jora di gal lawo changru
and
chis.
then touch another part of it.
Dargyo de la lawo ji chang ra zugu shimba di ya dar mesa sa tongba ra di gal lawo ji chang das chokse ne shimba di. Darsa da dar mesa ni gal lawo chang daru chis.
Rub fast.
Darej da yogo daru chis zugu di.
With your other finger, test the place on the table you were rubbing.
Ta thanda lawo yeba gi dar de na ra lawo yeme zugu di ani darsa de lawo chan taru zugu chan taru chis 100 ml. It's warm.
It's warm. It's warmer than the other part of the table.
Ta darsa de la zugu chik chang ra lawo chan du ani dar me se thanda sa je jura de la lawo chan du dini duru ai na darsa de tro dos. Yes.
What kind of energy is that in the table?
Ta di chokje di gal niba khari yores. Thermal energy.
It's thermal energy. What kind of energy was your finger moving?
Kiran zugu yogu che de ra di niba khari yores zugu dila. Hari niba. Kinetic energy.
Kinetic energy.
Gujyo niba. Kinetic energy se.
Where did I get the energy to move my finger?
Sorry.
Where did I get the energy so I could move my finger?
Ta ngi zugu yogu chige rasa. Di yogu chela ngal niba khani ra res. From food.
Stomach energy.
Se ni ra rasa.
Momo energy.
Momo energy.
Mumu niba di ra lasta. Zegi niba di chage rasa. Se ni yungor la di.
So chemical energy goes to kinetic energy,
Zegi nubadi call duere, yogi nubal dueres.
and then we have thermal energy.
Ani jal harra gore, chogi nubadi dueres.
So what we would like you to do is we would like you in your small groups to complete the story of the 5 monks in light of this experiment that you did.
Ta tanda taje ji chemba. Di taje chho na shinge la ngazo kushonga ga ji tanda dungdi cha yo mara. Di ani kiranzo cha chi chi stundi.
Where did the 5 monks go that were in the ball as kinetic energy?
Ta thangbo gozu de kushonga era. Di koranso niba khari ngore yogi gujyo niba ra. Di ani koranzo kushonga di khawala do res. Into thermal energy.
But this is energy theater.
Ta di nganzo di khar lana nubegi thabden shisa di ras.
This is not energy radio.
Sorry.
It's not energy radio.
Di energy mashe de di maresta nuba korla.
So we have to decide how to act it out.
Chezan di thabden che da tamje ro indu kala ngaran surang ni thabden chi bu restila.
So we would like you to act it out in your groups, in your morning groups.
Chezan ta kiran zo shogel ruka soyra tharanja kiran zo ruka nangro chisti.
So now we have decided on the objects, the ball that does, the moving ball that will not move on the floor.
Tang zo thabden chi du kala ngaro ngwe ni thajo chisa ras. Tang mo bo harior lana polo chigores polo yogu chedingi polo jiora thabden chi de. Yogu chingi polo di khari chungyor lawa na shale di ne di chungyor resa di. Di ene shala di yogu chigiyo mares. Ine khari chungyor lawa na yogu chingi polo di chungyor res.
So this part of the floor is going to be the moving ball.
Ta yogu chedingi polo jiora ne dangla. Di khari chung thanda dinala thabden chi du khari chungyor lawa na ne di chungyor res.
And this part of the floor is going to be the ground.
Ta shale inne di jiora di khari chungyor lawa na shala round chungyor res.
And extra points for groups that also have as an object the air.
Ta angi thewa rag res kesi lung chu di nan chu bai nas thabde nala. Ngobo chik thewa lung chu bai na nyamdo.
Yes. Yes, a question.
Tiwa.
Energy system the energy the potential lohaji to small junasa. That did not the
Khandis energy the potential ni lower res.
that lohaji.
So you said something like energy and potential are two different things.
So when you read in books, there are forms that are called potential energy.
Ta kena lobde log ras di lobde kas log wake up so khari thongur lawa na sorni nubal and thoe res.
But because I study how people learn about energy, I know that those terms can be misunderstood.
Di ladu wala ta thanda thange denzu ge khari chir lawa na thanda namju chik me wala ma chang wala shiwir lan shera dine roj khol lene ani khol norge roj thegi res lo wake up so thange diltani.
So we will reintroduce the words potential energy because after all the book also has the words potential energy.
Chezan thanda sorni nuba la jura di kyar dungu do chis khayas na ngodo khajin chis shuainas lobde nala thanda thange thagaran sorni nuba la di lobde nal sudos.
But potential energy does not mean potential to acquire energy.
Ta thanda ngonju gi thanda sorni nuba la jura di ladu gala khwa dende le yo mar sigma changni ale jela ta maung bai ta chitugre la jura dende khwa le yo mares.
Nange duality means generally in Shavasana. Duality Gala Shubina, Pesha Shabina Pudi, white board in Abang Asukita, Lotse Mamboji Jan Tuera, and he began Abang Asuk Lotse Mamboji, that we Chitweg, Nubadi to give whiteboard. The Yobina, the Nubadi, whiteboard, the more ilmed, and more social.
whiteboard ki thanda lobthi den juma jang shengi yores
아니 이게 나버기야 거기 있는 가서 로스 마음을 치토야 돼요. 근데 이게 뉴버지. 화이트보드 뭐 찍고 내가 뭐 리뷰를 이제 그거. 이게 뉴버지요. 이 뉴버지라 그 화이트보드 니 뭐 리뷰를 해야나 뭐 소소니요.
So this term potential he's still using that. So when we use this term potential, this whiteboard has the potential like when you are using it, and there are many teachers who use it, and it has the potential to teach different subjects to the monks. So do you consider and thama dikhare thiodi the karpan di
digging also the ground value ba ni ye number kita also loss in mamu jela pe universe yo digging universe da whiteboard ni mo jeme do yo na mo so ni
lobe dida jaya di
universe na pe board ni mo chik do yo na mo so ni.
So this whiteboard has the energy to teach different subjects because you are using it and they are learning it. So when you use this thama dikhare the whiteboard ki
or the energy ni mo eme do yo na mo so ni yo.
Whiteboard na energy ni ngo thade re yana chigres nan re. So the form and that energy whiteboard ki nubara whiteboard ki energy. So what we learn is from the energy we are getting from this whiteboard. Takira energy rang pheje chesu iba. Thanda the energy rang pheje chesu iba. Thangi thugu da di. Thanda kira the potential energy rang ra. So he is saying that this whiteboard has the energy to let students learn because it makes students to learn, and the teachers are using this. So it has energy. Ani form lady. Whiteboard dida and the energy needy. So whiteboard and energy like are these the same form or are these two different forms?
Right. So the way in which you use the word potential is the daily way of thinking about the word potential.
The namgyu thanye engine potential lejora. Ding onto namgyu kharib he chiworlana thanda chikma samaru dedik keje ko dili res.
So that is why I have put a box around the word potential energy.
Chezanta thanye thanda sonne nubash do. Sonne nuba dila an nganjugi gamji sweshes.
Because I want us not to use those words until we understand energy a little bit better.
Kaisna di thangej do this go to do jures cheza ani di thanda nuba di khande image go masu bodo ani di thanye di pheju chemes.
The reason for that is because when we think about the science meaning of energy, we always associate a form of energy with an indicator that is measurable now.
The cheza cherina la nuba le thangi di khadu shagor la nuba le di khadu pheju chigir la waina di dadun chinging ge chik yo wainas and di nuba res la ni shagyo res.
3 years from now, this whiteboard could actually be used to help teach other monks.
Ta di losum ge jela karban di kharil pheju cheyor la waina kindu ba shimbal pheju cheyor rasti.
So in that sense, that the whiteboard has the potential of being used for good teaching purposes.
Chezanta thanda karban dila khari nuba yor lawana lukchi yabu chegi nuba yor lan shigruas.
But the meaning of the word potential energy is not the potential to acquire energy in the future.
Ta thanda digi khol lendang chiwaina thanda ine thanda ding onju sonni gi nubash do dinala di kho diligi yo mares maung bachik chitu re la jora chik raya yor lan di keje shigi yo mares tende kho chiti yo mares.
There are specific types of potential energy.
Sonni gi nubal rig mangbu yor res.
And they are called potential energy for a technical reason that does not have anything to do with the meaning of the word potential.
Ta thanda nuba di chegi nuba yor la chik pheju chigora thangi potential la engineer di thanda nganju tanda sunni nuba di pheju che di chikpa digi yo mares.
So I will ask us for a little while not to use the words potential energy until we understand more about energy.
Che zanta di nuba di khurang khande chile lagu yeme go ma so ba do di thangye shda sunni nuba la di thangye di pheju chigi mes.
So get in your groups. If you want to be in here, great. If you want to go outside, that's also fine.
Ani ta kiran zu ruga na di chego na ye dis nanglo
Let's do it in
jinga
groups
nanglo
of
shuna
five.
digre yana chilo phena digi res.
Oh, the groups, fine, yes.
So go back to the same groups you were working with before.
Shogi ruga na ra di ruga chomi rangja chero chis.
Decide on how energy will move in your theater.
Ta kiran ge thapten chisa na la nuba di dodang khandes tugu yeme jura undi kiran su thaju chero chis.
Try to get to work quickly because we want to call you back into the room and see some of the theaters.
Chezan di thapden che di kiran zu thanda chongdar che ra di kiran zu yogo nangro ches je cha cha je la ni jinga na la kiran zu ma twe thapden di che res.
If you have any questions, find us and we'll try to help you.
An thiwa yo ina thanda tangro ches ngan zu rogo chi gos kiran zu.
Okay.
They may start now. Right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, kiran zu ruga na na di go zuro ches.
Okay. We have our first energy theater.
Ta nga zu nebe thapden chinge ta thangbo di res di.
In the middle here is the ball.
Ta di ki la chik tungu da di khar la na polo di chungi res.
I believe over here is the air.
Ani di lungi ne di res.
And over here is the floor.
Ani shale ne di khar cha la na di res.
The actors are preparing their final preparations.
Ta thapden ba din zo kran thari shu chi de shasta.
Please remember that the ticket for this evening's production was free. There's no charge.
Ta thapden di la ke gu ji tan nam ju ticket ton duya tes to mares. Rimere las di thapden di.
Okay. So chick, Ling, Zoom. So this hand motion for them represents thermal energy.
Di khar chungi res. Te ni ba di ras.
And some of the energy went to the air, and some of the energy went to the floor.
Di la du niba khashi chaji ko dor la na lung la dor res. An
And
chaji
some
ko
of
dor
the
la na
energy stayed where the ball was, but was thermal energy.
ale an niba chaji ko la dor la na polo rang la yores. An di niba ngo handi dan la dor la na thu niba na la dor res.
Can we please see it again?
Ta di thapden di yange chi thawes
Savannah's
mesa.
liked it so much she wants to see it again.
Di thapden di stammer is now shoot do shas chezan kira zo yange chi thawes ches.
Move a little this way, start a little bit more. There we go. I think.
Yes.
Another group, please. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
그래서 드시나 네 로가 심바지 페로지 있으니라
There's another group ready to go.
그 로가 심바 한디레 이걸 자주 해서라 지 간디레 그런 줄에
This group, though, very interesting, though. I'm actually, we might have to stay after class to see what they had in mind.
네 라스 그런 줄에 가르난 도스
Okay, so please tell us quickly. Please tell us quickly what part of the floor, what object represents the part of the floor you're standing on now.
또 단다 그런 줄 이해 상사 있네지도 디 아니 object what object does it represent you said right and ngobo khari chungyu res di kenzo langsa innejido di polo chungyu lara okay it represents the ball
So right now they are standing on the part of the floor that represents the ball.
this saja dilo saja di polo ra
Okay, what other parts of the stage will you use?
ani ta thanda thabdin chela ne khari khari pheju che yinsa khandi di this part of the
And what
floor
does this part of the stage represent?
ta di shala innejido di ngobo khari chungyu res
Yeah.
thabdin gi da download di polo resu imagala di polo chen di no hari chungyo resa the floor this
floor.
represents the floor yeah
So over here is the ball, and over here is the floor.
di polo res and di shala di res
Okay?
we need 1 minute to discuss So he's saying the same thing. After each step, one person should go away from the group, leave the group. So one should leave from this side, another from that side. He's the group leader.
So what kind of energy are you now?
The Kiran nuba khari race thanda. Kiran khari race thanda. Nuba khari Kujo nuba. Kinetic energy. Ball is over there.
But you're the floor now. You're the floor.
Kiran shala the race thanda.
And you
No, I'm not the floor. I'm energy of the floor. I'm not the floor, I'm energy of the floor.
Oh, you're the energy of the floor. Okay. What kind of energy are you?
Nuba re khandi inside. Okay, potential energy he's saying.
Well, I'm asking him though. What kind of energy are you?
Kiran chota inside. But it's a group work he's saying.
You'll have your chance.
We are in the same group he's saying.
Okay. So your potential energy?
Kiran soni nuba rosa. Yes.
And what are you?
Gela khari nuba. We are all the same.
So you're the ball still. You represent the ball because you're standing on the part of the floor that's the ball.
Ta gela kiran polo gi nuba di chungyo rolas. Khaila na polo gi ne de lang de dos.
Are you standing on the part of the floor that represents the ball?
Kiran gi polo gi ne re lan tyen sha jojura. De la ya shang yu khol shang yu shang di. Yes, this is the energy of the ball.
Ball. And what about you? What about you?
And kiran khari nuba resa. Energy of the ball. Khare. Energy of the floor.
Floor. And so from here over are 2 units of energy for the ball, and our 4 units of energy for the floor.
Dini ani thanda polo yunuba di chungu dos ra. Phajo shi di khar chungu lana shale yunuba di chungu dos.
And they also
No, not. No, it's not. So at the beginning, so at the beginning they have represented kinetic energy when the ball is rolling, and at the end this kinetic energy is transferred. This energy is transferred to the floor. Now it is converted into the energy of the floor.
But what kind of energy? That's very good. So I have one question for you. I do have one question for you. What, just to be clear, what type of energy are you when you're in the floor?
Ta shalagala di nuba di pures la ra di pures jalani ta shalagala nuba khandi ri khandi cha de res ngo khari res potential energy.
And what would be the indicator of that energy? How would we know that you were potential energy?
Ta sonni gi nuba yin la ra di la so jala sonni gi nuba re la di dadun chingi go res la ora dadun chingi khari cha de res.
What could we measure?
Ta sonni gi nuba re la du nuba di che je ora di je la khari dadun chingi khandi ju res.
What could we measure on the floor?
Because the ball is not moving, that's why we say it has potential energy.
What could we measure on the floor only that would tell us that the floor has more energy now than it had before? What could we measure? What could we use as a measurable indicator?
Tang azu chik che je yore la jora che je dadun chinge khari chi chog resta shala dil nuba didu la jora che khandis chigi is. Shala dil la gor shala dil khari yo che je ta nuba chi yore le ra nuba yore la ra shala ma bi thero joye dita polo dora shala la khari kheba dore la shala la che je na khari che ures. So he's saying frictional force.
No, so the question is very specific. What can we measure? I can stand on a scale and measure my weight.
Ta nganzu khari jel thu re la jora di chago res khandes je thu re la jora che je di ta nganzu ngara su jigo ro je wo na di thanda jigo kya sa di gal ya lang jigo.
I can use a meter stick and measure my height.
Ta ngarang gi ring se di je wo na thanda di fixing di pheju chini je ro
so sacha de pena ani kilometer je ba je kilometer je go ani kilometer karasu rel ro ambo ngave tu jose je ro jose ti ani kilometer ani sum ro tu che tung ji le tu che kama ji le kilometer sum ro ji ro ge hina ani kama ni ba ko le
ta jose ro ya
ni do ko ma kama sum ba ko le kilometer ji ma do ko ma da wa ti she ni
je di jose jigi slow re. So they said they will measure the speed because in the first minute it covers 30 kilometers sum ju soi ba
kilometer chu
in the first part it covers 10 kilometers, and in the second minute
Okay, so hold on. I want you to remember something. Remember something. Hold on. You, my friend, are the floor.
On the floor.
You represent the floor. Energy, sorry. You represent energy of the floor. So is the floor well, hold on, please. Is the floor moving?
No.
So how can we measure the speed of the floor to represent the energy of the floor?
Yini shala nubalan ke shidu al khandes jegi shidu gela jose she ba shala jose khande je
shala jose mare
we are not
mato karre se do mato gujo ji es tambo
So at the beginning we were moving. So later it has converted into something which is not moving.
So
in the first minute we are able to move 6 kilometers and then likewise kilometer 3 and then 1 kilometer like that.
Okay, so one idea I heard that it was converted into something that's not moving.
Ta thanda kheran su chik khari shigor la hoina chik de shen la gyur la jora gyurgyo de khari rojil shagud la na chik yogu machu aji shagi yoas.
So I think the best thing to say is that yes, the kinetic energy has converted into something that is not moving.
Res kheran su khari shigid la na nyuba shemba jil gyur dro res la ora po res la jora mo la gyur res la de dila du gala yogu ki nyuba shemba jil gyur res nyuba shemba di guyo tang yo mares.
But the word potential energy is not the best word to use to think about what that energy is.
Hine thanda kheran su sorne gi nyuba la jdo di thanda takta di mindus.
The group that came before, how do you feel about the group that came before? Because they had the idea of it being thermal energy.
The kheran su nye la ruba ji thabde nang suas koron se khari kor la samju she or la na thig ni ba le di she suas.
You like that or no?
Thig ni ba kor she de kheran su no to se sa.
No.
Yes, we like it. When I heard it for the first time, I clapped.
Okay. So, as the modest pointed out, this idea of potential energy can be very confusing.
Chesan thanda nganjo sorni ni ba la jdo di peje choina konyo ro ta nyongjin ro chagi yo resti.
In fact, we had a small conversation, and he was saying, if I could, I would make sure that they got rid of this word in books because it really causes more confusion than it provides understanding.
Chesan sorni ni ba la di ta konyo bu ro nyongjin chen ro swing ro cha di du gala ngaron zoin ba na di thanye di ora pi share rishas themni. Khala nyobu su nyongjin chen ro chagi dos.
It is 4:30.
We should
So
stop.
let's thank these actors.
Habib baburan to represent our space.
We will continue with this the next time we meet. Just like making force diagrams, it requires lots of practice. So we are going to give you lots of practice and opportunities to do energy theater. Tomorrow is a holiday, day off. So we'll see you on Tuesday morning. And thank you so much.